Right, welcome back to the show. Today, I want to talk about something that it actually came up for me. What was it? Yesterday, last night, whatever. And it's funny because I've got an 11-year-old and 8-year-old, and to them, anytime I say something, if I say something twice in 1 week, that means I'm obsessed with something, right? That's just they're young kids, and they're probably just, who knows, that's a thing that's going around school is, oh, you're obsessed with something, right? It made me think, I'm like, being obsessed isn't, it can be a bad thing, right? And in schools and society, like, we're kind of taught and kind of pushed that being obsessed with something is a bad thing. And obviously, if you're obsessed with the wrong things, which we can, that's pretty simple to, for the most part. I won't say pretty simple, but it can be pointed out, right? Like if you're obsessed with alcohol, probably a bad thing. Probably not much can come out of that. Not much good can come out of that. So yeah, obviously you've got to pick your what you're obsessed with. I don't want to say pick it, but you've got to if it can negatively impact yourself or others, then it's probably a bad thing, right? And I think we can probably all kind of figure that out. But to me, obsession can be an absolute good thing. And my kids, they were, what was it? I think we were talking about some school stuff. And I was like, just ask Chat GPT. And both my kids were like, oh, you're obsessed with Chat GPT. In my mind, I'm kind of like, the way they come off, it's kind of like, I want to get on the defensive, be like, no, I'm not obsessed. But in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I kind of am a little bit, because I use it for good. I use it to better not only my business and my fitness and stuff, but my personal life and things like that. So yeah, I don't want to say I'm obsessed with it, but it's funny that kids go there with that. But yeah, I think being obsessed with the right things can be a great thing. And it's funny, and I should probably do a show on it, but I met a very large storage operator last week, and it's funny. I was there for 4 hours. We went through a ton of stuff, and it felt like 10 minutes. And I could tell the passion that they had for it. And after I left, I'm like, all we talked about was self-storage stuff. And self-storage could be pretty boring, right? Like we rent out boxes, 10 boxes, sometimes they're wood boxes, right? And to some people it is pretty boring, but there's probably a portion of me that is, I guess, somewhat obsessed with it in a way. I definitely like the business aspect of it. And that's a lot of things that we kind of dove into, was that business aspect. And yeah, there's definitely an obsession that I have for that. And even saying obsession almost feels like it's a kind of a dirty word, but it shouldn't be, because you look at any of the greats, and I think I've talked about this before with work-life balance and stuff like that. But you look at any of the greats in anything. Look at Elon Musk. He's clearly obsessed with whether it's leaving a mark, leaving a legacy, making the world a better place, whatever it is, he's obsessed with that. And we are all benefiting from that. I just realized my mic is like right in the middle of the video here. No biggie. Anyways, yeah, I think the greats are absolutely obsessed with something, right? I look at Michael Jordan. He was without a doubt obsessed. And I don't know that was necessarily basketball, because I think he still has that obsession from what we can kind of see, but he just wants to crush people. He wants to win at everything. And if he doesn't win that one time, guess what? You're probably playing again, because he's going to keep going until he absolutely destroys you. And I think he's obsessed with that. And I think, I think we all have to find some type of obsession that's beneficial for ourselves and or others. I do think, not a therapist, I don't have any stats, I didn't look this up, but I think we're probably all obsessed with something, however that looks. It could be food. It could be obsessed with your phone. It could be obsessed with obsessing over things. It could be obsessed with trying to let go, or I've got a buddy that was working on not being obsessed with certain things, And I think he turned that into being obsessed with not being obsessed, right? So he's got the superpower and he's trying to hold it down, but he was being obsessed with not being obsessed. And again, I think I think we're all obsessed with something. What does that look like? How are we using it? Are we using it in, I don't want to say the right areas, but areas that could benefit us and others? So yeah, I think obsession is a really good thing if we're using it the right way. And I wrote down some, and these may be somewhat random thoughts here, but I kind of put some things through Chat GPT. And again, my kids probably aren't listening to this unless this is 20 years from now and they wanted to see what Dad was talking about. But yeah, I ran it through what I'm obsessed with, Chat GPT, and gave me some pretty cool stuff. It says, focus with passion. If you're not obsessed, you're distracted, right? And we've talked about distractions in the past, where distractions are, and that could be anything. One that comes to my mind is, especially we're in football season right now. I mean, you can watch football, I think 7 days a week. I believe football is on 7 days a week now. To me, that's a huge distraction. Even if you're watching half that, that's probably at minimum, if you're watching 3-4 days a week of football, what's that? Probably 20 some hours. Like, it's just a complete distraction to me. You're not getting anything out of that unless you're a coach or want to be a coach. Or obviously if you're watching a kid of yours or whatever, someone but otherwise it's a distraction. And I'm all for entertainment. But if you're filling a lot of your downtime with that, what are you getting out of that? So you could be obsessed with watching football, or any other sport or entertainment or anything like that. And to me, I'm a basketball fan. I will watch basketball every once in a while. I've not, the NBA just technically started maybe 2 weeks ago, a week ago, something like that. I've not watched an entire game. I don't even know if I've watched an entire quarter. Through the entire month of November, if I watch, we'll say one entire game total, so that's multiple games combined. If I watch one entire game total, that'll be a lot. And when I could be watching that, I'm busy coaching my son in basketball. That's way more productive, obviously. So yeah, it's hard to be obsessed with something with distractions. I think it also gets us through roadblocks, challenges, and I may do a show, and I was kind of going back and forth about talking about this now or later, but right now we're going through just our storage operations. We're kind of going through some growing pains. We brought the call center in-house just about 90 days ago, and it was a trek to get a staff together. Now we've got one person that came on board that is kind of our rock. But after that, trying to hire some, and we've hired some really good ones, but we've had a decent amount of turnover in those 90 days too. We had a lot of people ghost us, which is weird. Just through the interview process, they'd make it to the final round, and then they'd ghost us and not even show up for the final interview. So we've been having some growing pains there. Yeah, I don't want to go too far into that, but we've been having some growing pains. And I think our manager, district manager, whatever you want to call her, and then probably our lead call center rep, we'll probably all have some type of obsession with making this work out, getting better, making it better for everybody and ourselves, because at some point it's already become easier, I believe. But we want to make it become easier for ourselves, for our renters and everybody involved. And we want to provide a great service too. So I think we all have, us three, we definitely, and there's others on our team too, but as far as, the call center in that regards, I know that's kind of running it. Us three are, I know we definitely have an obsession formed around that, and we've been hitting a lot of roadblocks, but I think our dedication, obsession is kind of, getting us through those challenges. And they're, I think we also realize challenges are what's making us better, what's making things, systems that we thought were good in place. Maybe we have to kind of change things, because of some roadblocks or some challenges we've had. So challenges are good. And we're kind of going through that right now. Also, Chat GPT brought up difference between interest and obsession is why you haven't hit your goals. And I'm going to say that again because that one is that's a banger. That might be the best thing that we've got for the show today. Here it is again. Difference between interest and obsession is why you haven't hit your goals. Right. So I know just from, kind of putting myself out there, telling people that I'm in storage and, just putting myself out there, I get people reaching out to me quite a bit, which is absolutely awesome. I love it. Keep hitting me up, wanting to know about storage, wanting to know about becoming financially free and learning those things, those two areas mostly. And I see a lot of interest. I don't see much obsession. In fact, I tell a lot of people I talk to, if over the course of a few months, 100 people reach out to me, I would guess maybe one or two actually take serious action and are obsessed with getting self-storage and making it work for them and getting out of their 9 to 5, which is majority of the people that are reaching out. There are some people that reach out that are already in storage and want to talk a little bit more in depth on things, but kind of the people wanting financial freedom, getting out of their job through self-storage. Very, very, very few have more than interest. Very few have obsession. Again, it's probably 1 or 2%. That's not many. And it's really opened my eyes to why. And that quote is, it hits the nail on the head. There's a lot of people interested. There's not many people obsessed. And yeah, you've got to enjoy it, but I think obsession can grow too. When I first got in storage, I was without a doubt not obsessed with it. There was probably something there that I really, really liked. Probably the business aspect, obviously the financial freedom, the time freedom, those things. But I've absolutely grown into, I absolutely love what I'm doing. It's fun to me. And yeah, I am, so-called obsessed with it. So, I really like that quote. And to kind of piggyback on that, another line is the line between crazy and genius is drawn by results. I'm saying it again. The line between crazy and genius is drawn by results, which you think about it, anybody that we see as crazy and I could be wrong, but my guess is most people nowadays, things happen so quickly now, right? So it's not like, Einstein, where I don't know how many inventions he had, but it took him years to figure things out, right? I don't know that we're necessarily there anymore because things move so quickly, right? So if you're gonna invent something, like it happens pretty quickly, and you can either see there's going to be a result at some point or not. So I don't know if this is so. I'm sure it's definitely a thing today's world. People definitely see others as crazy. But yeah, the line between crazy and genius is drawn by results, right? If you don't have results, you're considered crazy. If you have results and you're obsessed with something, you're a genius, right? Pretty simple. Another thing that's kind of this all piggyback off each other, but I really like this quote, and it is: the middle is crowded, the top is peaceful. And yeah, you can absolutely correlate that to obsession. If you're not obsessed, you're not going to be at the top, period. If you're not obsessed with something, you're not going to be at the top of anything. It just is what it is. Or if you get there, you ain't going to be there very long because you don't have that obsession to keep going, to keep getting better. So maybe you say you won the lottery, right? You're on top for a little bit, so-called on top. You're probably not going to stay there, right? And this is, I wish I had this stat. This just popped in my head, but most lottery winners become bankrupt, broke. I think it's 2 or 3 years after they hit the lotto because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing with their money. They weren't obsessed with something to get them there. They just happened to basically gamble, win a bunch of money, and get there. So yeah, the middle is crowded, top is peaceful. And this is probably going to be the last one here. Obsession is passion the world can't keep up with, which is, I like that one too. I mean, Chat GPT, what I'm supposedly obsessed with, according to my kids, really gave me a lot of good stuff here. I only picked a few out of, I think I picked 3 of them out of probably 10 or 12 that it gave me. But obsession is passion the world can't keep up with. And again, yeah, you can replace being obsessed with something with having passion for something. And it's funny how even myself saying that, how much better it kind of feels like, no, I'm not obsessed with something. I have passion for this thing. It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. Obsession has become a bad thing because of society. Wherever that started, however it keeps going, I don't know. I'm sure it's, the schools probably have something involved with that. I'm going to keep blaming things on schools, just because we're, it's where we learn a lot of things early on. But yeah, obsession is passion the world can't keep up with. That one's really good. So going to end there. Hopefully this was beneficial. I like talking this stuff. I don't get to, you guys that are listening, guys and girls that are listening, I really appreciate it because, just me talking this stuff, I learn a lot from. Obviously, kind of coming up with a show and a podcast here for this topic. I learned something along the way. Me talking about it, I learned something along the way. Anytime you kind of, and I'm not saying I'm teaching anything, but anytime you teach something or talk about something, give a presentation on something, you're going to learn more about it. So for me, obviously, I'm getting benefit out of this. And I appreciate everyone listening here, or else if you weren't listening or watching, I'd just be talking to myself and I don't know how good it'd be. So kind of sum that up. Appreciate everyone for watching, for paying attention, for listening. If you want to come on the show, reach out. And if you find this valuable, please share. But that's all we got for today. I do think but there's some things kind of changing that I'm excited with. So I'm excited about that I can't share right now, but is coming soon. And maybe by the time this podcast airs, may be kind of in the works or in concrete by then, but do have some things coming up that I'm excited to share about. But till then, thanks again for watching, paying attention. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for following, subscribing, and listening to this episode of the Do More podcast hosted by John Farling. To learn more or ask questions, go to l4investing.com.